What's up, y'all? We are back again with another episode of Mike and T Talks.
What's happening?
And we are here to talk all things relationships. So let's get started. Jumping into it. Our first question of the night is: should a man be responsible for paying on every single date? And I think it can go both ways. Like, should a man be responsible for paying for every single date when y'all are dating? And then should they be responsible for paying for every single date when y'all are like together, whether that be like girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever. So, what you think, babe? You
Well,
footing the bill every time?
I mean, that's just something that I would do, but it would be nice to, offer, to get an offer to pay a bill. But at the end of the day, I'm not really, you know, if the feelings are mutual, then I wouldn't mind fronting the
So,
bill.
I mean, like, what about the fake out? Like oh, I get it, but we're really only saying that because we're expecting you to be like, no, no, no. Like, I mean, should we stop doing it? Like, you either gonna pay or you're not gonna pay.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Somebody got to pay.
I'm a firm believer in like, because especially with us, like me and Michael, when we first started dating, I mean, he had what I call a big boy job, and I was working in retail. I was working at
Yeah,
Lowe's when we got together. So he knew that I wasn't making the type of money that he was making, but I would still offer to split. And I wouldn't offer because I felt like obligated or anything. It
yeah,
was just kind of like or I mean, sometimes I would pay if I was balling out of control that week when I got my check. I'd be like, well, you got it last time. Let me at least pay for like drinks or pay for the appetizers or something like that. And now that we're married, I'll do like, stuff like, "Babe, I'm gonna take you out on a date
yeah.
and I pay," or,
Vice versa.
vice
Yeah.
versa.
And then sometimes it's just whoever pulls the card out for
Or
you.
sometimes somebody leaves their wallet at home
Oh yeah.
and I ain't got no
I've done that. I've
choice.
done that multiple times. And won't realize it until I'm driving.
I'm
And
gonna
I'll be
start
like, I ain't
leaving
got my
my
wallet.
wallet at home.
All in all, it's gonna get paid.
It is.
There's no issue.
So it's always gonna get paid. We ain't gonna be in the back washing dishes. Somebody gonna pay
I
for
ain't
it.
doing that.
And then now, I mean, like, it's me, him, and Mari. So I mean, sometimes I look across the table and be like, "You got it," or our account is linked, so I'll be like, "You want me to use this card, or you want me to use the other card, or like what card we use in a day, or whatever."
Yeah.
Some days I'll be getting Mari cleaned up. I look up, he already threw his card down on the table, so it's just like it is what it is. But no, I don't think a man should be responsible for paying on every single date. I can understand where the stigma might come from when they're pursuing you, but I mean, do you want him to pay for every single date and then be broke when y'all actually get together, like,
Yeah.
because he done balled out of control? And let's be real, when it's not just you eating, when it's two people eating, your bill automatically jumps up from like maybe $20-$30 to like 60-70.
Right.
If you're drinking, you done probably already hit the
Yeah.
$100 mark,
Especially if you go to a place
where the drinks
more,
are nice, like
yeah, but
upscale.
more expensive taste
Yeah.
kind of deal. You know.
Which that's going around a lot. Nobody wants to be taken to Chili's anymore, which I don't understand. Y'all tripping because the
Right.
Presidente is gonna always ride.
Right.
Presidential, whatever it's called, whatever that margarita is called. But I mean,
I mean, it's nice to do those kind
yeah,
of
every now
things
and
every
then.
now and then.
I'm trying to think. Our last fancy restaurant was probably in Vegas, right? And
Yeah.
everything's expensive in Vegas.
Yeah, everything's expensive in Vegas. But yeah,
But
what was that? What was it, Javier's in Vegas?
was that the most expensive?
Yeah, definitely
The
not in Vegas.
Mexican
Yeah,
restaurant?
definitely Javier's.
Okay.
Definitely.
I guess it depends on what kind of man you want. Like, if you feel like he should be paying on every date, then you need to get a man that's balling out of control.
Yeah,
but also don't say anything when the same man attempts to like try to control you or whatever because he's made it known from day one. I got the money, I'm paying, and this is what it's gonna be.
that's true.
I'm all for the independent woman throwing their card out or being like, let's split it. I don't see anything wrong with that. I have a different way of looking at dating. I enjoy being pursued, but my idea of being pursued is being asked on a date. I could think of many times when we were dating and we split it, or like you might have paid for the whole thing. Like I think the most expensive date we ever went on when we were just dating, like boyfriend and girlfriend, was Sonny Williams.
Yeah.
And he had just got a promotion, so he paid for that entire thing, like that entire day, the dress, the shoes. He paid for all of that.
Special occasion.
Yeah, yeah. In conclusion, with that, nah, I don't think you should be required to as a man. To be honest, some of y'all probably don't agree, but I mean, it's my opinion. So, as always, I got some Am I the Asshole stories. Are you ready?
Let's get it.
All right. This one says, Am I the asshole for letting my date pay for dinner? I, 19 male, asked the girl, 18 female. First of all, they are children.
Hmm.
These are children out to dinner. When it was time to pay, she said, I got it, and went into her purse. At that point, I literally had the receipt in my hand. I thanked her and handed it to her. She hesitated a bit, but she paid, and we went home happy, or so I thought. So, from my perspective, I really can't see what I did wrong here from asking her out until receiving the check I intended to pay. After she offered to pay, I thanked her and allowed her to pay. The next day, I woke up to angry texts. She said I put her into an awkward position, forcing her to pay the bill. I asked what she wanted me to do differently. Apparently, I should have argued slash insisted that I would pay. My friends agree with her. Now I'm wondering if I should just apologize and pay her back. Am I the asshole?
What?
Absolutely not. Because we live in a day and age now where, like, some women will get offended if they offer to pay and you tell them, no, I got it.
Yeah.
Some women will get offended.
So he basically said that she did it just to get a reaction. Almost sound like
Yeah.
because she did it, but she
Basically,
wanted him
yeah, she wanted her to
to
argue her down.
right.
And
Why would you purposely do that?
I mean, when it's like hidden agendas like that, you're going to get burned every
Every
single
single time.
time.
Every single time.
And you shouldn't expect for a person to, me personally, man, if I'm getting ready to pay a bill and you go, no, no, I got it. Here you go.
Boom.
I can keep my money in my pocket. I'm not going to argue with you about paying no bill. I wouldn't expect him to argue with me. If I say I got it, then that means that I'm going to pay it. I'm not saying I got it for him to be like, no, babe, let me. Y'all have different versions of what like chivalry and stuff should look like. And that's not it. So, no, absolutely not the asshole. You let her do what she requested to do.
Yes. 100%.
All right. Next one. Is the guy expected to pay for every single date in a relationship? This may or may not be a generational thing, but let's assume we're talking about people between the ages of 20 and 30. A month ago, I met a girl who's in her early 30s. We were just friends and never dated, and were not interested in dating. What stood out to me is the fact that she told me she expects the guy to pay for all the dates in a relationship and would never date someone who didn't take her out to really nice places and pay for everything. After some investigation and questioning her that what is she bringing to the table if the guy is paying for everything, she said, my presence.
Mm.
I do not want to draw any conclusions and generalize this to all women, but if it happens that all women are like that, I'm giving up and do not respect anyone who expects the guy to pay for all the dates. So this technically wasn't an Am I the Asshole story, just basically like a short story summary type thing. I don't think it's, well, no, you know what? I think it is a generational thing. I think when you get to the women honestly, that are like my age and older.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I mean even younger, like maybe in their 20s, yeah. They're saying like she said what she's bringing to the table is her presence.
That's it.
That's I don't know how to feel about that because I mean, should you think highly of yourself? Yes, but your presence is not monetary.
But okay, put it this way. She says her presence, but at the same time, you're also dictating where you should be taken, or want to dictate where you should be taken.
Right.
That
And it's
don't work
not your
like
budget.
right. It shouldn't work like that.
And it shouldn't. I mean, I we've had dates that were like as simple as a picnic. I am one who feels like it's the thought that counts. So like if you take me to my favorite restaurant and it's a chain restaurant, guess who's still finna eat? Me.
Right.
I'm a foodie. I don't discriminate. If it's good food and I can get full off of it, I don't care. Like I know women who would never go to Texas Roadhouse for a date, Cheesecake Factory for a date, would never go to those places because they feel like they're too above all that. But at some point, especially in the dating pool now, you got to bring that down a couple notches. You can't just be like that. I mean, yeah, you might get lucky and like your Prince Charming come out of nowhere, but baby, you might kiss a whole bunch of frogs before you get there with standards like that.
Yeah.
Not saying you shouldn't have standards, just saying that they should be realistic standards.
Right. Start low and kind of
Build your
build your
well, I
way
ain't
up.
gonna even say low. You could start
Well, I ain't gonna say yeah. I ain't
smack
gonna say
dab in the
low, but
middle.
like they these standards are just
The standards are basically I want French food. So get on a private jet, fly me to Paris.
see that's
Let's
crazy.
eat and let's pay for it. That's what the standards are right now. And it's mind blowing to me because our economy sucks.
Right. And then on top of that, they ain't expecting to pay for it.
It's crazy, man.
I'm like, dang.
All right, my last one is: am I the asshole for thinking my boyfriend should have paid the bill at dinner? We lived together. He moved into my place because he was looking for a place to move anyways, and this was convenient. We split all bills and take turns with groceries. It was our 6 month anniversary, and we agreed to wander out that night for a drink to celebrate. We ended up at a cozy spot nearby, got one drink each and some food. When Tom came for the bill, he said, "Let's split it." Ooh, not the anniversary. Now I don't expect my boyfriend to pay for all of my stuff. I have a good job and happily pay for my half of the bills. I lived by myself before he moved in and am capable of taking care of myself. But when we're out on a date, especially to celebrate a special night, I expected him to cover the bill. I got all dressed up, did my hair and makeup, and I know I looked good, only to get treated like a roommate. I'm noticing he doesn't put in much effort in other areas, and that I usually have to take the lead on organizing any plans or anything that takes some thought. Am I expecting too much, or am I right for thinking he should still be trying to date me and take the lead here? At home, I already put in more of an effort and have invested more into our space together. I thought him taking me out for dinner would be a bare minimum. I haven't said anything about this to him. I pay half of the bill without any comment, and I've kept myself busy since then. He's active on Reddit and may as well see this himself.
Oh wow.
So I'm scrolling through the comments, and a lot of people are saying that she's the asshole, but I don't know. I kind of disagree because special occasions, yes, I do feel like you should pay the bill. I've never had to pay the bill on an anniversary dinner, on a birthday dinner. I mean, it could just be my man, or it could be other men out there like that. But yeah, no. If I'm getting dressed up and I put time into my outfit and my hair, and like she said, she knows she look good. I know I look good, and I'm on your arm. The last thing I expect for you to do is look at me and be like, "It's our anniversary, babe. Let's split it." No, I don't want to do that. I do it if I have to,
Hmm.
but I don't want to do that because for us it goes vice versa. Like for his birthday, if I'm taking him out, he doesn't have to worry about putting a card down. I do that. I take care of that because I said I wanted to take you out. Our anniversary, I understand that it's a celebration for the both of us, but he's never made me split anything. And that's probably because with us, if we do anniversary dinners, he got anniversary dinners. I might have whatever activity it is that we're doing on our anniversary.
Yeah.
Like for instance, in Houston,
Mm-hmm.
the play we have a specific place that we're going for our anniversary dinner. But that day, I'm paying for massages
Yeah.
for the both of us. So like I pay for experiences and he get down with the bill when it's time to pay for food.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wouldn't mind splitting it. Like it's not something that would just be in the back of my mind like dang, he made me do this cuz I mean, at this point we're married, your money is my money, it's our money,
Yeah.
but nah, asking me to like put a card down or looking at me right now and being like, "Yeah, babe, let's split it." And they bring him a bill and bring me a bill, I'm gonna probably look at him and be like, "What? What do you mean split it?"
Yeah. Honestly, man, we really didn't even plan that. It kind of just happened. Like you plan all the festive stuff
Yeah.
and pay, and then I usually do the dinners, the lunches, the brunches, and all that
And
stuff.
I think it's
So
because you know that food, even though it's not a real love language, it's one of mine. So like we don't look at it and be like, "Oh my God, it's too expensive." Because 9 times out of 10, if we're going out of town, we're going out of town to celebrate something.
right.
So we set money aside to be able to eat nice and go where we want to go.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They said she was an asshole. I don't think so. I agree that your man should still be trying to date you.
Right.
But still trying to date you again does not mean that he has to pay for every single time that y'all go out. Nobody should expect that. What if, the man that you're with, that you love, like, you got his back, y'all are together, and he falls on hard times? Are y'all just not going to go out and eat?
Mm.
Are you going to send him a bill later on when he get a job and be like, this is how much you owe me for when I paid
Yeah.
for a date? You know what I'm saying?
Good
So
question. Yep.
So yeah, I don't think she was the asshole, but that's my opinion. What you think?
Yeah. I don't think she was.
Okay.
Just me. Yeah.
All right. So this next topic that we are getting ready to talk about, I want to give a quick trigger warning because it does revolve around miscarriage and stillbirth. This is something that me and Michael have never really spoken about publicly, so this will be the first time that we're
Yeah.
sharing this with you guys. It's somewhat of a hard topic, but we are going to make it through. So the topic of discussion is, can going through something in your relationship bring you closer? We are living proof that it can either make or break you, depending on how you choose to deal with it and how you choose to communicate with your partner. So I'm gonna kind of start the story from my perspective because um, I kind of went through it and he like,
Support.
came
Yeah.
in on it, like the events or whatever. So Mari is not my first child. I was pregnant before her with a boy. We named him Maddox. And that pregnancy was a really hard pregnancy. I had fibroids, which is actually very prominent in the African American community, but it's not really talked about as much as it should be. So my very first appointment that I ever had, I was measuring way farther than 8 weeks because my fibroids were so big. My doctor reassured me that everything was good at the time, but did say that fibroids could cause miscarriage, basically, kind of up the statistic on miscarriage or miscarrying. So the day of the, all this happened, I woke up and I was in some serious pain. So I met with not my doctor, but my doctor's nurse practitioner. I told her what all was happening with me. She checked me and said that, everything looked good and that if it got worse, to go to the emergency room. The kicker is that the emergency room was right across from my clinic, and I really should have just headed straight that way. Like I shouldn't have came home. But they said Tylenol for the pain and everything, and go from there. So driving home, I was in pain to the point where I basically had to like sit up in the seat on my steering wheel because it hurt so bad, the cramps that were coming. And come to find out those were labor pains.
Yeah.
Those were like I was in labor and I didn't know. I assumed they were Braxton Hicks, but I wasn't even 20 weeks yet, or I had just hit
Yeah,
20 weeks.
we had
Just
just got
shy
there.
of
Yeah.
20 weeks. So I took some Tylenol, I laid down, and basically when I woke up, the pain was gone, but something just kind of felt a little off, in that area. So when Michael came home, I had him check it out and he was like, yeah, I see something, so we should go to the ER. So we pulled up at Baptist. The cramps started again because I'm pretty sure I was like bent over and
Yeah.
walking to get to the elevator. They had us fill out paperwork and they took us back to the triage area and they hooked me up to the monitors for you to be able to like monitor your child's heartbeat and all of that. They were looking for his heartbeat on the Doppler, and we had just found it the night before because we had a at home Doppler.
Yes. And actually earlier that day too.
Earlier that day, yeah,
Yeah.
we had found his heartbeat. We were listening to it. So when they couldn't find it, probably like after the third time, they didn't hook me up to any machinery. They did come in and have me sign paperwork, and they told me that I was going to be moved up to the labor and delivery floor. So, at that point, I didn't say that like something was wrong, but I knew that again, something was off. So my doctor comes, she checks me and they have me sign more paperwork and she basically tells me you're about to have this baby. And I'm like, but he's early, and she basically tells me that there's no heartbeat, that we've lost him. So like I'm having to give birth to him, but he is not alive in this moment. So she tells us that he breaks down, I break down. Then I mean, in the moment, you kind of have to just suck it up and get
Yeah.
it together because it's your reality. So you have to do what you have to do in that moment. So we started making phone calls. He called his parents. I called my mom because I basically told them like I'm not gonna push unless she's here. Like I'm not gonna do this without my mama. So I call her. She kind of cries on the other end of the phone, and I tell her I'm like, hey, I need you to get like. I understand, we all grieving, but I
Yeah.
need you to get up here as soon as you can because I don't know how long they're gonna let me wait before I have to do this. Your parents made it
Yeah,
first.
my parents made it first.
And they must have been listen, they're right there,
Yeah, they don't
so
live
they
far.
don't live
So
super far. I think my mom was like 15 minutes away. So they made it up there first. Even during COVID, because of what I was going through, they let them up on the labor and delivery floor. I will let you speak on what happened when you guy came in contact with your parents. 'Cause I don't know. I wasn't out there.
I just felt like I just felt oh man, I don't even know how to explain it. I kind of just got weak and I kind of just I didn't faint, but I just fell out into my parents' arms and just broke like all the way down. And just to be expecting your first child and it just life happens and it just gets taken away that quick.
Yeah, it's
Is man, it took so much out of me that night. And I just had to, have my moment, but I had to pull it together because baby still had to give birth to our child, and so I just had to be strong
yeah.
and be there for you.
And so I know he said that he met my mom in the hospital or in the hallway because he walked her back in um, with him. And I mean, when he walked back in, y'all, you never would have known that he like broke down. And I don't know if it's because, I wasn't really paying attention to it in the moment, but I mean, everybody was ready. Like my mom came, and I think the doctor came in like right after and was like, are we doing this? So my mom helped me push. He helped me push, and then immediately after delivery, I had to go to the OR to have a DNC to like remove the rest of the placenta or whatever. So y'all, I had just gave birth, and then I had to be taken to the OR and put under basically. So it was like birth, surgery.
It happened so fast.
It did. It happened so fast. Like I was rolled out. I don't even think we got to I don't even think I got to see Maddox before I had to roll into the OR because they were like getting him, together.
And they couldn't wait.
Yeah.
So
From what Michael says, when I got back from the OR, he said I was shaking like a stripper in church because I was called. I mean, it was like a metal table that they had me on. I'm anemic. So, of course, he was angry because he knows like when I get cold. I mean, he said that I was literally like convulsing.
Just didn't want her to like
go into
shock or something.
Yeah. So he made sure I was taken care of. The nurses at Baptist were absolutely amazing with what we were going through. We got to spend, our time with Maddox, and eventually we were discharged. I had to have a transfusion because I had lost a lot of, fluid, blood, all the things. When we were discharged, it was really, really hard coming back to the house from the hospital without a baby.
Yeah.
And we still had so much stuff to do. We had to meet with a funeral home. We had to decide whether or not we were going to have a funeral for this baby or if we were going to cremate him. And we did end up cremating him. So he's here at home with us. Looking at it now, I can see like why a tombstone would have been, something special to like visit him on his birthday every year and everything. But we do a balloon release every year for his birthday. I think this is the first year that we did not do it, and I think it's because like the work schedules and stuff just didn't work out. We honor him, and I've always said that when Mari gets older, she will know that she had a sibling that came before her. But it brought us together, y'all, because we chose not to grieve separately. Every single day we were checking in with each other, because I told him every day that I woke up before I got pregnant again, it was just like I could literally feel my heart ripping. Like I could feel it every single day. I could feel like a little stitch coming undone. I could physically, y'all, feel it. I can understand how they say that somebody can die from heartbreak. I understand that because it felt like my heart was literally breaking in half. But every single day, because eventually he went back to work.
Yeah.
And I was still on basically maternity leave because my body was healing because I did still have to have a child. So I was here by myself, and I was trying not to like let it get to me every day. I was trying to like be up and moving around, and everybody handles grief differently. I didn't handle it in the way of wanting people to continuously tell me how sorry they were for me and everything, because it only reminded me of what was and what isn't now.
It was hard on me, especially being at work and knowing she was here. Just like I constantly want to check in on her every
And
chance
he had
I
to
got.
stop doing that
Because I didn't want to overdo it, but
like
then I didn't want to.
overwhelm
Then I
me,
didn't want to seem like I wouldn't.
like you didn't care.
Yeah, like I didn't care.
And we did find that balance. Like we really did. We were, whether it was him coming home and me just wanting to cry, I was allowed a space to do that, in a comfortable space to do that. If he wanted to come home and just like bawl his eyes out because that's all that he thought about at work that day, he had a space where he could do that. Like we made it a healing space for each other, because at the end of the day, nobody really knows what that's like except for the partner that you went through it with.
Right.
Nobody knows what that feels like. Nobody has the exact same feeling that you do, except for the person that you went through it with. There might be people in the same community that have gone through the same thing, but everybody, again, feels differently. And I mean, it brought us closer because we chose to grieve together instead of grieving apart. And most of the time people were coming to me and asking me, was I okay? And they do that because you're the mom.
Right.
You're the one who had the baby. But in my mind, it was our baby.
Yeah.
So everybody was asking me, am I okay? But I'm over here checking on him like, are you okay? Are you mentally okay? Do you want to talk about it? Do you not want to talk about it? There would be moments where it wasn't easy to talk about, and in that moment he'd be like, yeah, no, I really don't want to discuss it, so we wouldn't.
Yeah. And till this day, I honestly, only person I ever talked to about it with was her.
It's me.
I didn't even talk about it with my parents. Like they were there that night, but I don't know. It just kind of hit different for me because in that moment, I just felt like we was all we had. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
like
saying?
it's just in
It's
that
just
moment it feels like it's just us. And that's not to say that like our support systems are amazing.
like,
Like we had prayer warriors praying for like our healing mentally and physically. We had his parents were checking in, my parents were checking in. Everybody was there for us, but I mean at the end of the day, nobody can be in that moment with you the way that your partner can. And we chose not to let it break us and not to let it get us down. Eventually we became pregnant with Mari, and that was a situation in and of itself. Like it was an easy pregnancy, smooth pregnancy, no complications, but we were both still on edge, I guess, like waiting for the other shoe to drop, wondering if this time is it going to happen again.
yeah. Will we
Is
actually like legit be able
Yeah,
to
like
have kids?
are right. Like, can we have kids? Are we going to be able to bring this kid home? And because of what we went through, we started completely new with Mari. New OBGYN. He was able to be at all of my appointments. If I needed an ultrasound to clear my mind, I could get one of those. Like we went through the entire thing with, I mean, like literally with no complications.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away what you've been through.
Never. It's never gonna take away.
Mm-mm. Like he'll always be our first child. He'll always be
Yeah.
our son, and
He's Aries like his dad.
and I'm just, I'm glad to have you as a person to go through hard times with, like when things, because nothing is ever perfect. Nothing is ever 100%. So when things are not going right, I have somebody that I can literally go through thick and thin with, and not feel like I'm being judged or not feel like I'm losing my mind because I feel this way and you feel another way.
Yeah.
It's all about validating each other's feelings.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, to conclude on that, do I think that going through something can bring you closer in a relationship? Absolutely.
Yes. And this is a perfect example.
Because this was not easy. And shout out to all the mamas who have rainbow babies, who have been through a miscarriage or more than one. Your feelings are valid. Don't ever let anybody tell you that they're not valid, because they are. And feel all the feelings for as long as you want to feel them, because they're your feelings. Nobody can take that away from you. And you are a mom. People made sure to drill that into my head. With a baby in heaven or a baby earthside, you are still a mom. And I mean, that's basically like our little testimony too when it comes to Mari, is that sometimes it is all in God's timing. My first pregnancy was not anything that I thought it was going to be. And my second one, I actually was preparing myself for it to be just as bad, and was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't. So, all in timing. It may not be on your time, but all in timing.
And I do want to say this, ladies, especially my African American ladies, please get checked out so you can take the right steps into planning to have kids
Mm-hmm.
and make sure you have a healthy pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Because checking for fibroids is definitely something to look into.
Yes.
And actually, Mari's pregnancy ended up being easy because I had actually had the surgery to get mine removed before I decided to have another kid.
Yes.
So it is important.
Very.
Again, it's not talked about as much as it should be,
Yes.
but do your research
Please.
and stay in tune with your body. It's important. All right. So I think our last topic of the day, what I'm actually really, really excited about, is love truly blind? My favorite show is Love is Blind on Netflix. I have been wrapped up. I have been pulled in. That is my thing. I have pulled him in, even if he like catches it after they come out of the pods and they're like trying to make their relationship work in real life. He's interested. So you say no because we've discussed this before. I say yes, and let me tell you why.
Okay.
I have fallen in love with somebody that, well, no, I can't say in love. I've I've loved somebody that some people would not consider attractive.
Hmm.
I've done that, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like love can be blind if you're focused on other things such as like their personality. If we were focused on how I was being treated, I was being stupid. So love was super, super blind. I mean, I had on blinders. I couldn't see nothing. I was Stevie Wonder in that entire situation. Okay, so you say no, love is not blind, but why do you say that?
I say that because I think it's because you know what you want in a person.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't necessarily say it's blind.
Yeah, I think looks definitely play a factor. But I mean, what if this person is like, I mean, like, I'm talking about personality just bomb, like, walks in a room, lights it up, but isn't the most attractive person,
Yeah, you got a point there. I
you
can
know?
understand that. Yeah.
Because I feel like personality is like, for me, it's a big thing. Like, if I can't laugh with you, play with you, like if I always have to be serious or,
Get bored.
whatever,
You get bored.
yeah, you get bored. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna work. So for me, like I put personality up there. I mean, yeah, it helps if you're good looking. I mean, when I first brought you home, and my grandma was like, "That's a handsome man right there," and I was like, "Well, grandma, I try not to date ugly people, like what society would consider ugly." But I mean, I don't know. If you looking at Love Is Blind, the show, nah, it's not. Love definitely isn't blind. This most recent show, my favorite was Clay and AD. And
Ah.
Clay was the one that was basically like in the pods, like, tell me what you look like. Tell me
Yeah.
what you look like. I gotta know what you look like. Like,
Mm.
sir, the experiment is Love Is Blind. And AD was bomb, okay? From head to toe, body was right, face was right, everything. But like in an experiment like that, you literally have to fall in love with somebody because of what they're showing you personality wise.
Right. It it makes you focus on like the intangibles
Mm-hmm.
of a relationship.
For sure.
So
I agree with that. So I don't know. I think love is blind. I think it can be in certain situations.
yeah. So I
Like
say I'm
50
50
50.
50. Yeah, I say 50-50.
50-50. Okay. So quick discussion, but something that I wanted to throw in there. And what do you guys think? Do y'all think that love is blind? Have y'all ever loved, fallen in deep like with somebody that wouldn't be considered the most attractive, but was attracted to you for all the right reasons? We would love to know. Drop a comment, give us a story, whatever you choose to do. we are ending tonight's podcast with that last topic. It has been real. We got real deep with y'all today, so I hope that y'all appreciate that. Because again, we have not talked about this in public.
Yes, first time.
Yes.
So, just thank y'all for listening.
Thank you.
Like, subscribe,
Comment.
You
all the
know,
things.
we want to know everything, what y'all thinking, how y'all feel about what we discussed today.
And we'll be back next week.
All right.
With yet another video. Anyway, you guys, we love y'all. We thank y'all for the support, and we will see y'all later.
All right. Peace.
Peace.